speculate a little bit about this trend, right? So this trend is on a macro level being influenced by our astrological transit of Pluto through Aquarius, and this is the trend of groups and networks breaking down into extraordinarily specified niches in which those are the only places where there seems to be trust and development of relationship between people, right? And I believe that this has a lot to do with how the network also is allowing us to share so much, right? Um, we, in our conduct with the public, get our conversation point to elevate to another level, right? Like back in the day, we were used to most of our relationships revolving around circular logic, as in somebody didn't transcend a certain level of ideas and being completely comfortable with not even wanting an answer to certain mysteries that are associated with all the fun that they're having. This is why, like, Star Wars people don't start getting involved in looking at who the real Jedi were, who the real Imperial overlords are, and things like that. Like, they don't, they didn't want, like, they knew that everything there was in some Joseph Campbell thing, and they can intellectualize that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just enrichment for their playtime in a manner which is part of the battery for some pretty off point hallucinations about the real world that we're living in and have to deal with involving real threats. And we're sitting there, and as we watch these groups subdivide, and wondering when it'll end, right? It's just like I initiated my own personal subdivision, right? And I have, like, when this stuff started happening in 2020, it was just like, I can understand, oh, there's astrological reasons why it's going on, yada, yada, yada. Despite all rationally understanding that, because I have strong 11th house energies, and so watching such an Aquarian thing happen with the Pluto transit, showing me how these groups are, the individuals within these groups are going their own mindsets in such ways that they're unconsciously betraying each other left and right, because things have gone askew with their values, or people that had a certain kind of grift kind of revealed themselves. But if I put a shirt on, you wouldn't have shown up to tell me to put a shirt on. And thus I would have gotten absolutely no attention whatsoever, because people don't seem to listen to important words. They're just obsessed with what kind of clothes I am wearing. So therefore, to remove the distraction of fashion, I have gone back to the raw. To the raw and the authentic and the transparent. And yes, today I am wearing my Ernmjolnir. I don't really have a name for it. I'm kind of making one up on the spot because it's an Ernmissil and a Mjolnir that has been bound together with a copper wire. So this is my more heavy duty, that I don't wear all the time, heathen jewelry. I usually have my just my regular horn carved Mjolnir. Now I got this. I used to wear this all the time. I wanted to wear it less often just because it's big, it's heavy, and it's getting a little worn out, and so I want to get more mileage out of it and treat it a little bit more special. So I got the other one. Oh, neither. I'm speaking light language. But anyway, so this is also part and parcel of why I don't even give a shit anymore. Because I'm watching incredibly respectable, perfectly professional people who never slipped up, never cringed on anything they ever fucking did. And I just watching fucking people, pick apart petty fucking observances, saying like, ugh, no more with this fucking guy, right? Oh my god, he thinks that the red berries are good. Red berries have esoteric meanings of Satanism. He's a Satanist. Fuck him. And then go, like, it sounds like that. That's not a real conversation, but I'm just saying that in my head, it's just like, just like you keep looking for Satan in your fucking group, effectively, right? The only thing the only thing you have control of is you trying to purify people out of your world, right? And this is little Hitlerian things to me, right? Where am I now? I am in a state of enlightenment. Thank you. So I'm always happy watching an individuation process happen. And maybe this is just there to force the individuation process. Maybe Pluto is balancing the Aquarian energies by making the networks so micro-divided that people lose the spirit to say this is the one way in which you control anything. Right? Which then says something different about how does one control via the network, right? How does the Hierophant operate under the star card? That's the best way I could kind of fucking say it from a tarot point of view. So Pluto is going to be doing this for a very, very, very long time. It's going to be interesting seeing what kind of like creates social happiness like that, right? What I see within a kind of certitude is that it can put you back to sleep, I think, because this kind of subdivision is only really happening to hyper socially charged persons. The truther movement, wokeism, the more fringe levels of political thought on the right and the left, which those things kind of encompass. But even for people that are kind of like not in that paradigm, right? And so there's a fine line between being unaffected because you don't matter, such as like the people that are just kind of out there kind of holding down what's good and functional about the old system, and those of us that have been seekers all along and are really doing just what we need to protect ourselves, knowing the difference and pulling in the context. while also not taking it from a disposition of truly wanting to become separated from all manner of people. But sometimes you need to make those tough decisions, and you can't just say that this is my one modality as a law without any like contingency for violation of other values, right? Because there's certain assumptions, because when because that a certain disposition is based on assumptions of who your friends and enemies are, and then when your internal authority makes it aware to you that this is adversarial territory and no longer friendly territory, you change everything. What's up, Pearl? Everybody, please go sub to Pearl Jones. She was just on my channel last night. That was her and I. We did an interview about her as a medium, a fortune teller, and a witch. And she's an awesome one at all three of those things. Thank you so much. So it certainly changed a lot of my relationship with the world at large, just because of how I used to function relationally with my energies, with my sense of networking, my sense of perceiving where I fit in and what my relationship to what I fit in is with. And for someone like me, it's been a little bit more upsetting watching all of these breaks, right? Because, there's a very quiet internal kind of king who doesn't want to be the tyrant that, because of my personality, I could easily act like, and thus ruin everything. When I'm just sitting there, my inner authority is telling me, you don't see anybody else leading on this important thing to charge. You charge it, right? And so I have to take charge and lead and put the energy into something that no one else is doing. And I have to do it as an authority unto myself only, but I am showing it to everybody, because it's just like, I'll do this alone, but I'm showing you because I can't just tell you to do it. But I have to earn your respect and trust and motivate you to do it yourself, and preferably also with me, or prove to me that I got to do it with you. But either way, this is the motion that's got to be done. Answer it or don't. I don't care, but I'd prefer that you answer it, because it's better for me, even if it's adversarial, because then at least I'll have a fucking chance to learn something in the conflict, win or fail. Because at least I'm doing the thing, right? And that's a big aspect of energetic initiation and leadership. And to watch the world, the networks break in the ways that they are, and to become so hyper tight, personalized, it's an equalizer in a certain respect of not worrying of a certain way in which power will manifest. Because this probably means that some fucking Nazi group is having trouble with everybody getting along a certain way. And all of this kind of thing is actually really great, because it gives everybody a chance to fucking not go along with anything. But you can fall right back into the main line, which is exactly what it's going to do for a lot of people, right? You'll notice that certain movements, they've shrunk, and you don't see them with other people. Like, they just kind of like, they're on their third asinine fucking drama with some truther movement that inspired them, and now they're just going back to fucking absurd reality. And who knows if they're going to be capable of being activated for a good long fucking time due to it. Right? And, it's definitely a loss, and we got to stop thinking that it's a positive affirmation to lie to ourselves about what's fated, because we're retrospectively saying that none of us could have made a better informed decision, or at least made a decision at all. All right? Reflect and be honest with yourself that you were afraid, you were vain, you didn't have the integrity or whatever. Like, I beat myself up about these things all the time, which is also why I'll do some crazy thing and somebody be like, why'd you do this? Like, this is the right thing to do. And I am making up for the last time I didn't do the right thing when I had the chance. And I need to let that mistake drive me to be better, because that's me being true to myself and willingly becoming the man I want to be. And that's what people are going to have to do to find any happiness as this happens, because getting kicked back into the illusion is going to go back straight to the comforts and the no need to wake up. Right? This is the hard road of not being involved in any of the side groups, as they're not even deliberate psyops. They're all just the scatterbrained, unfocused reality of most baseline people. Even the ones that are really into the trends of looking at deeper things without being deeper beyond just wearing it as a cultural mark because they desperately need to fit in with a certain crowd. Even if that crowd in and of itself is not trying to fit in with the world. And it's just foolish. It's just foolish, because if the trends are correct with Pluto through Aquarius, it's like, you're sacrificing people out of your life that it does. You're gonna be sacrificed out of somebody else's life eventually, and it can either happen because it's gonna happen, or it can happen plus karma because of what you did, because you made a willing participatory choice in that. I was getting hit left and right unwillingly, as I'm the innocent one trying to get everybody to get along. And, and it's just like, it's almost like you're in a child's role in a family that's going through a divorce, and you don't know why mom and dad are fighting and can't live with each other anymore. Because you felt the security of the household until that point. Now everything is fractured, and your heart is having trouble feeling whole, because you still want to be friends with two people that now are technically at war with each other, and you weren't forced to make a choice, but eventually you grew in certain directions where only one or even neither mattered by the end of it. Oh, well, thank you, puppy. I actually made a meme about that, because I am not as fat a Thor as I was 4 years ago. So you should take a look at me 4 years ago and then call me Fat Thor. I am Thor becoming more realized. And you can go fuck yourself. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my lunch break. All you losers have a good time.